This video is pretty much going to be about a interesting subject that I think deserves to be talked about. And this video is going to be about you know getting used to regular contact as a targeted individual. You know, people in this targeted individual community, they've often been targeted for most of their life, if not all of their life. And it may have only been pronounced as they've gotten older, but they've always been targeted in various ways. Now, I've gone over why exactly this is, and in a nutshell, I have a video on my playlist about targeted individuals and what it is. But basically, it's almost as if you live in if you're a real human and you're listening to this, it's almost as if you live in a controlled environment, almost like a simulated exercise, if you will, where most of the people in the exercise are not actually human. They're not really human, and only a few people are human. And basically, the point of this exercise is, to see how you would react in a certain situation if you were set up in a certain way. And so these, creatures who aren't actually human, they've always been monitoring you, and they've always been tracking you, studying you, and various things like that. And it may have seemed more natural for you, at least it did for me, maybe in elementary school. But as you got into middle school and certainly high school, the gang stalking, or better yet, just the exclusion from things may have been, it may have gotten more pronounced over the years as you've gotten older, and it just would have really enforced that there was something weird going on, that you were just very different, you were not like the others, and it's because you weren't. It's because the others were literally of a different species from you. And, they knew it and they could tell, but you could not tell. And if you really want to know how to tell the difference between the different species, who's an actual human in this exercise and who isn't, you can go look at some of my older videos. I go into that quite a lot. But anyway, I'll just, skip ahead. Basically, based off of these non-human, critters, whatever you want to call them, a lot of times you, as a human, you feel better being alone than you do socializing with others. Because subconsciously or consciously, you know that when you socialize with others, they will often betray you, they will often do you dirty, they'll look for any grimy excuse to, try to screw you over. They're just crappy people, really. And, they usually hate your guts. They wish they could kill you, a lot of times. They wish they could just screw you over. They do so as much as they're allowed. But like I said, this is an exercise, so, God only allows so much, for them to do so much to you because, they're demons. And, basically most people are demons, and you're one of the few humans, and, they're seeing how you would react in this, basically in this glass tank, if you will. And, but you get so used to dealing with these non-humans and all of their nonsense that you come to enjoy being alone. And I think that when you come to enjoy being alone so much for so long, in the off chance you might meet a human, you're just so used to being alone that it might make it difficult for you to connect with an actual human, because you're so used to being alone to shield yourself from these animals, from these things. And yeah, it can be a real issue, uh, in my lifetime, I never really been that great with the ladies, and it's gotten to the point where if a woman acts like she's romantically or sexually or whatever interested in me, I'm just gonna assume it's some sort of trap or something laid by these non-human things or whatever, And, luckily, I would say luckily for my mental sake, I found out that most people, they're actually Nephilim, they're just demons, they're not actual humans. So I don't blame human women, for how these Nephilim women, creature, animal things, or whatever, have treated me. But, it's gotten to the point where, if maybe even a real human woman came by and was nice to me or something like that, based off of these Nephilim, non-humans, I just don't know if I would be able to respond to it correctly. I probably would not be. Or on the flip side, say, a human, man, I would probably have a very hard time being friends at this point with a, real human man, just because of how used I've been to, being alone, to kind of shield myself from these things, even when I did not consciously know about these, non-humans who participate in this exercise, um, going back to, high school and whatnot, eating lunch all alone for the most part, and, being like that for pretty much, at my age, pretty much half my life now. So, coming into contact with a real human man, I just, it might just be a little bit weird and clunky and unnatural for me to actually interact with a real human man and try to develop a friendship, just because I've been so used to being alone for, at this point, basically half my life. And, for the most part, it's been a good thing, because I had to have some way to shield myself mentally from these animals, And so, what you gonna do? Well, I guess just be cut off. That's probably for the best. But, in these last days, if possible, it would probably be nice to, network with what few humans there are remaining, and, try to maybe just have a fellowship or to baptize each other or something. And, it's probably pretty hard to do that when you're just so mentally set on being alone as a defense mechanism, you know. So, if you're a real targeted individual, that's probably something you're going to have to think about. It may not be as pronounced if you're younger, because, I'm almost 28, and, I imagine a lot of people my age, who were actually real humans, they're probably already, cloned out, which is to say, they've already lost their souls to these non-humans. It's already been taken out. They've already been soul snatched, and, who knows how they are, or, what they're doing. A lot of people say, they just go straight to hell. um I would hope that maybe, you know there can be some other way for some of these people, just in the sense that, it's just been so hard here. um you know what can you do when you're pretty much, you know it's like in an MMA fight where, it's almost like, you're a lightweight, you know doing a ground game against super heavyweights, and there are two of them, and, you gotta try to submit them, but there are two, fighters who weigh almost twice as what you weigh, and you gotta fend them off and try to submit them. Um, it's quite a task, and, at this point, 28 is probably pretty old for someone who's an actual human, you know? Um, a lot of actual humans now, not only are they probably not Gen Xers, they're probably not even real millennials. They may be like Gen Z or something. I don't know. Um, Probably a couple years younger than me. I don't think very many humans make it to the age of 25 and after. So, especially now. So, just some things to think about. On the off chance you, or, me, or anyone comes across a real human, we gotta kind of keep in mind to maybe try to retire or water down that defense mechanism for being alone, and maybe understand that that other real human might have a similar thing going on too. Because again, even if you don't know about these things, subconsciously you can feel that you're just very different from other people. And, in my opinion, it's a lot different now. You look at people and you can easily see they don't look human. Well, I won't say that. You can easily see that they look like trash. People don't look as real as they used to. They don't move as real as they used to. They don't seem to have the same emotion a lot of the time. You look at basketball, it's unwatchable to me now. I mean, just everything is so robotic. Um, I'm not even talking about comparing to, the Michael Jordan Bulls era, or, the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson era. I'm just talking about comparing it to, I don't know, even when it was like, the 2012 Miami Heat era, or when it was still like LeBron versus Tim Duncan, or, Kobe versus Paul Pierce in the finals. Okay, it's just, Yahweh Rules once said, they went from using clones to using robotoids that are even more faker looking and moving, and I think the NBA and its level of play could be evidence of that. But who really knows? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you're younger, you may not be able to understand how fake this world seems now compared to 10 or even 5 years ago. But if you're 24 and especially older, you should be able to really kind of tell if you're just paying attention. But yeah, you live, long enough living a kind of extreme solitude, true forced loneliness type of lifestyle for long enough, and it may be hard to reconnect with real humans when the time comes, and that's just something you're gonna have to internalize and think about, and see if you can try to overcome it. And that goes for me too. So this is just a real quick video on my thoughts about it, and yeah, I think I'm out.